Cinema Classics is brought to you by the Gateway Film Center, 1550 North High Street, Columbus, Ohio. Further details and showtimes online at gatewayfilmcenter.org.
The award-winning Cinema Classics is produced by John DeSando and Johnny DiLoretto. Listen to the shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
I'm Jordan Hanhilammi.
And this is Cinema Classics. We don't have our big sign here, Jordan, because our designer is doing a new one.
Yeah.
But there is a film out currently called Bridge of Spies.
Yes.
Great director Steven Spielberg,
Yes.
Great actor Tom Hanks.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about their collaboration?
I think that, first of all, I'll be comfortable saying that Tom Hanks is my favorite actor.
All right.
So that's, it's nice when you can kind of have that definitive statement to be made. And there's no disputing, obviously, that Steven Spielberg is one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. Yeah. So for them to get to work together is a really... I mean, it's just exciting, first of all. You know, when you just see a headline that they're going to be working together, you know it's going to be good.
Because everybody knows they started in Saving Private Ryan, or pretty much know that way back in the 90s.
Yeah, it's interesting that all four of their films have these European ties, which is kind of an interesting little twist to them. I don't know that it means anything, but yeah, Saving Private Ryan definitely puts... I don't know, it brought a realism to war movies that a lot of people hadn't felt in a while.
Oh, listen, with the exception of Platoon, the opening sequence on Omaha Beach has never been replicated and probably shouldn't be. It's so devastating.
Yeah, and I think it's both Hanks and Spielberg that bring that realism to life. Obviously, with what you're talking about with Spielberg's directing the opening film, a lot of people know about how he let the camera... There's a part where a camera just falls over and he just let it keep shooting, and stuff like that, and then Hanks's moments of it's a very subdued role in certain ways, but the moments of just quiet shaking and when he loses his hearing and stuff like that, it kind of, I think, brought people into those moments. So yeah.
Well, notwithstanding the fact that they're neighbors and they obviously get along very well.
Wait, are they like actual?
Yeah, they're actual neighbors.
Oh, I didn't know
In
that.
fact, they started their bonding over the fence, so to speak.
Interesting.
But what do you think about the two of them that makes them so compatible?
I would think that it's that kind of drive and that need for the truth of not actual reality, but the truth of the character or truth of the story.
Yeah.
So dive into.
Pretty much straight arrow guys looking for the truth. Nothing, no subversive business going on here. I mean,
and then also I would think a little bit that would probably tie them together some is both of them. Well, Hanks has a more, he has a very comedic history, but even in his roles later in drama, there's always comedy. Like he has those moments that make you laugh really hard in the middle of a movie. And Spielberg does the same thing. So I don't know, laughter can definitely tie people together as well.
It strikes me too that there's a common man theme between both of them. The childlike business with Spielberg.
Yeah.
The everyman notion with him seemed to work very well to give it a sort of innocence, even when you're talking about something as horrendous or something as tricky as Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
Which really has a bit of larceny about it, but still these are like innocents, like kids. Do you think that makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think a lot of people refer to Tom Hanks as like they would want him to be their dad. And like that's he kind of has that feel about him. And there's also been talk over the years of Spielberg and his relationship with fathers in his movies and how that has changed over the years. Once he kind of rectified his situation with his father. That I would think that might be something that maybe he sees Tom Hanks as potentially being that ideal kind of role as well, because he's obviously a father figure and like Saving Private Ryan, and then to Frank Abagnale and Catch Me If You Can, and
that's a great role. I mean, and Hanks stands out even in the face of a pretty good performance by Leonardo DiCaprio. as that paternal figure, I guess you're talking
sure.
about. He's really the only one in the film
Yeah.
who understands Abagnale.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a neat role.
It really is. It's such a nice accent to that piece because you're right. DiCaprio's performance is what you get swept up in because you're supposed to because he's a con artist, you know, and like that's what he is. And Tom Hanks is the straight edge, you know, guy that's trying to bring down the con artist. So, but it's left in other hands that would have been.
I'm glad to hear you talk about your, your love for Tom Hanks as an actor. It reminds me of Johnny DiLoretto and his love for what actor?
Mr. Jimmy Stewart.
Oh, really?
Who many people, I'm sure Johnny hates to hear or something. I don't know. That a lot of people call Tom Hanks the modern day Jimmy Stewart.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard. I shouldn't say a lot of people. I've read that.
I'm glad he's not here because he'd be all over us.
Yes, absolutely.
There's
absolutely.
no comparison between those two guys.
We'll just not tell him. We'll tell him we recorded this episode.
Now, so place, you have Spielberg and Hanks, but you have them in the terminal, which is kind of odd in this.
It's very odd, but I love that movie. I know that it's not a movie that gets talked about a lot, but it's a really fun movie that it's one of those movies that when you find someone that when you're talking movies and you find someone that also loves that movie, you get so excited because it's not. I don't think people hate it too much, but it's just kind of forgotten a little bit. But I do a lot of Krakosia, and then, I just get excited about things like.
Well, it kind of fits with your thesis about Hanks beginning in comedy, and there's the comedic elements, there, of course, which we don't often associate with Spielberg.
You're right. Yeah, I think that's what's really fun with him is when you do find those moments because they're placed very perfectly in movies where it's a dramatic film, but there's some really funny elements. So in the terminal, there's a scene in that I don't know if you remember, but where he finally gets to have dinner with Catherine Zeta-Jones, and this I wish I could remember his name. It was a small I think Indian guy that was in some of Wes Anderson's movies. He's in it, and he comes in and starts like spinning plates and like doing all these kind of circus type things in the middle of this dinner that is it's just so out there, but hilarious. And
I couldn't help but think about the film. This is how much films kind of affect my life because it took me 36 hours to get back from Milan to the States.
Wow.
And one of those was staying overnight at JFK on cots.
Wow.
in little enclaves
Yep.
of homeless people all over the airport on these cots. And of course, my buddy Wayne Miller just loving the whole business, coordinating everything, making sure they're taken care of and so on. But I couldn't help think about our hero in Terminal.
Absolutely. I mean, making like sculptures and things in the out of the outside the restroom and just befriending all these people along the way and changes people's lives. But obviously it takes the power of Spielberg and Hanks to close an airport for a day or two or like however long they had to close it for.
Do you want to know something?
What's that?
It's all a set.
Was it? I had read that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all a set, but I think the comment
I thought that they had read that they
no. The comment
okay.
is that not 1 in 100 people would know that was a set.
It's
so
impressive.
Perfectly recreated. Yeah, that's a great point. Now, Bridge of Spies, you haven't seen it.
I haven't yet.
Okay.
No.
And I have seen it, and I'm very impressed as a Cold War story.
Yeah.
It mixes a little bit of Spielberg's Lincoln, so with Hanks's high-mindedness as he plays the lawyer who is defending the Soviet spy. So it's a much more serious than we've talked about. Actually, we caught it in kind of the light Spielberg and Hanks with Catch Me If You Can and Terminal.
Sure.
And now we're back again to the more historic. And both of them are very interested in history and, as you started out, with the truth.
Yeah.
So this makes a powerful combination. Do you think there's anything left for these two guys?
Oh,
did you call them up and tell them, hey, stop it, enough?
Of course not. That would be silly for me to say after this entire conversation. No, I would love to see them working together, and it's it's nice that it's spread out a few years apart here and there. But Hanks is they both got all kinds of interesting projects going forward and stuff, and they both have I think still a decent amount of career left.
Yeah.
To work together again down the road. So
imagine these two guys.
Yeah.
peak of their career,
Right.
could do anything they want.
Yeah, well, and they've gotten, especially Hanks has gotten a little. We've seen the fact that he's able to he's willing to do a little bit weirder things, the Cloud Atlas and stuff
That's
like
right.
that. So hopefully they'll find something. I shouldn't say hopefully, they will find something very interesting to work on at some point.
Spielberg and Hanks, a
Yep.
match made in Hollywood.
There you go.